Well, I hope it's a good day to everyone. I'm back again, this time to answer certain questions that were asked by those who seek to move from the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit to the mainstream South African work visas. We also seek to explain, or rather answer questions based on the comments made yesterday by the South African Deputy President, Mr. David Mabuza in Mpumalanga, about the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit. There are also questions that were sent to us via Facebook, via email, and via WhatsApp about Zimbabwe Exemption Permit holders who want to travel home during the 12 months grace period. There are also questions that were directed to us based on the directive that was given to South African companies and other institutions by the government a week or so ago. So we seek to answer those to the best of our knowledge. Now, the first thing that we tackle is the comments that were made by the South African Deputy President yesterday when he visited King Makosonke in Mpumalanga, where he said, and we need to make this clear, the Deputy President didn't say that he's going to waiver anything about the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit, but what he promised was that he will try and get the Minister of Home Affairs to have an audience with the Ndebele King, King Makosonke, so that he hears out the plight of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit holders who, according to the Deputy President, some of them are Ndebele. So he then said that whatever the king is going to say or prescribed should be listened to by the by the Minister of Home Affairs. So now there is a clarification that is needed here. First and foremost, we must know that the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit came about as a result of political goodwill from the South African government. It was a cabinet decision. It wasn't a one-man decision. It wasn't a traditional leader's decision. It was a cabinet decision. So if ever there is going to be a waiver that is afforded Zimbabweans who want to move from the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit to any other mainstream visa, then that is going to be based on the goodwill of the South African government. What the king may do, maybe he may recommend certain intervention measures, but he doesn't have the power to order the minister to take a certain course in as far as the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit is concerned. What the Deputy President can do is also reach out to the South African cabinet with his recommendations. He cannot overturn as a single person the decision that has been taken by the cabinet. We, however, continue to hope for the best because there are some negotiations that are happening. The Zimbabwean government is involved. The African Diaspora Forum is involved. The Zimbabwe community in South Africa is involved, and other civil society movements that are concerned by the plight of the Zimbabweans who hold the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit are also involved. So what we can only hope for is that their presentations or their meetings that are still holding will at some point force a change of heart with the South African cabinet. Then on those who seek to know the directive that was given to South African companies and institutions, you will remember that a week ago, we had a live broadcast where we stated that the government, through Mr. Livuani Tommy Makote, who is the Director General of the South African Home Affairs, had given a directive to South African companies to the effect that all those companies who employ holders of the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit all learning institutions that have a business with the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit holders, and all banks where some of these permit holders do their banking services, should, we have to state this clearly, should continue offering the services to Zimbabwe Exemption Permit holders for the duration of the next 12 months, which is a grace period. But as long as the particular person has proof that they've applied for the mainstream South African visa. So what you do is you apply with the VFS Global, then you carry the proof as in the form of a receipt from VFS. Then you take it to your employer, you take it to the learning institute, to the learning institution, you take it to the bank or whatever company that you have business with, to prove that you have indeed applied for the mainstream visa. And then that means you are genuinely in South Africa, you are legally in South Africa, so they should be here with you. That's what the Director General of Home Affairs said. Now, for those who want to travel to Zimbabwe or any other country out of South Africa during the 12-month grace period, what you need to have is your passport, which is valid, and your visa, the ZEP. Now, there will also come a time where you will have to be required to produce the proof of having applied for a different visa or for a mainstream visa. But according to what the Director General said, traveling in and out of South Africa, for as long as you hold a Zimbabwe Exemption Permit and you are still within the 12-month grace period, you should be allowed without any hassles. And then for those who want to travel to Zimbabwe, they've been asking what they need to have, which has got nothing to do with the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit, but the COVID requirements back home in Zimbabwe. Now, what you need to do is you need to have a COVID certificate. We should state that you are negative, because for as long as you test positive, you know you cannot travel. You need to self-isolate or quarantine. So those who want to travel must have a COVID certificate which shows that they are negative. Now, my advice would be to say that do not buy any of the COVID certificates that are being prepared or that are being manufactured in areas like Yeovil, in areas like Hillbrow, in any other areas where there are some unscrupulous people who may try and circumnavigate the processes that are there, because you are not endangering the life of any Zimbabwean minister. You are endangering yourself. You are endangering those that you are going to get in contact with. You are endangering even your relatives, your loved ones that you are traveling specifically to see back home. You are endangering your friends that you'll be hanging around with. You are not going to any way pass that COVID to Emerson Mnangagwa, who put in this protocol. You're not going to endanger the life of Chiwenga, who is also the Minister of Home Affairs, but you are going to endanger those that you are going to be in contact with. You're going to endanger yourself. So this is the brief that we had today. We are also still taking down questions that are being brought to us. There are some that were brought to us about the application process for the Zimbabwe Exemption Permits. You will remember that we are journalists. We do not manufacture answers. We do not thumb-suck answers. What we have done is we have forwarded those questions to the VFS, to also the South African government, the Home Affairs Department, so that whatever information that we give you is a fact-checked information. It is information that tomorrow will not leave us with egg on our faces. It's not it's not information that will mislead you as you try to move from the Zimbabwe Exemption Permit to the other mainstream permits. So for you to continue getting more details, for you to continue getting more answers to your questions, Please subscribe to this channel, share this video, and also like it. Thank you very much.